2019 was the most remarkable day in Arsenal's history. Why? They didn't win a trophy then, but because the former player who became captain came back as manager of Arsenal Football Club. And bearing in mind, he was supposed to be the manager before Unai Emery took charge the season before. This is a big day because Arteta has signed a 3-year new deal to still be Arsenal manager. Okay, I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. If you're new to the show, like, subscribe, turn that notification on, and make sure you keep sharing and you stay to the end so you can stay up to date with this news. Let's go. Mikel Arteta has signed a new 3-year contract, taking him to 2027. This is a good day for Arsenal. Why? Because it brings stability to the club. It gives players who are going to be signed the next season reassurance this manager who they want to play for is still going to be there. It's not going to be a turnover of managers like the likes of a Chelsea, a Spurs, a Manchester United. It's not that club. It never was that club, but it's not turning into that club. Understand Conte, who fans still hate, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Mikel Arteta. He has won one trophy so far in his tenure as Arsenal manager. I won't talk about the Community Shield. I'm just going to talk about the FA Cup. He had success with that with a Unai Emery team. Since then, he's dismantled that team, and he is now building, and he's still building, a team in his vision and his creativity as to what he feels the football he wants to play is going to come true. In that time, there's been a lot of disgruntled fans. I will say that, very much disgruntled fans who still feel this is not the manager to take Arsenal back to glory days of only having 3 Premier League titles in their tenure since the Premier League has been formed. And I'll say that again. Arsenal have only won the Premier League 3 times. In all total of top division flight titles, it's 13. So really and truly, I don't know what the issue is with Arsenal fans. Yes, Arsenal are a massive club. I'm an Arsenal fan. We are a massive club. But 3 Premier League titles in that short space of time, not in that short space of time, a long space of time, is nothing to really and truly shout about. But with this manager, this is going to be different. Because he's shown that he's bringing days back to Arsenal where you can gloat, you can actually be confident in going into games that they're going to do something. But with Mikel Arteta now signing this contract, I'm for sure going to believe that next season, and again, here we go, typical Arsenal fans, next season is going to be one of the biggest spending sprees Arsenal have ever seen. I'm serious. There's going to be 2 midfielders coming in, a striker coming in, a winger coming in, another fullback coming in, because so many are going to depart, maybe on free transfers or be sold as well. Now, Arsenal have built themselves to a position where they can sell players for a decent record fee, even though it's still only, 35 million, which has been Arsenal's most biggest sell that they've done in this tenure for Oxlade-Chamberlain. Okay, but there are many reasons for that, why it's only Oxlade-Chamberlain, because Arsenal don't really have assets when they want to sell him. They don't got a long enough contract to be able to reward or command, shall I say, massive fees. But with Mikel Arteta at the helm, this is good news. There's new players coming through the youth system when people are moaning that he doesn't give them a chance. But Arteta just has a different philosophy. He has a different philosophy in what he expects from a player, for what the player should do and what that player should be. But, and I'm going to say this, is all what I'm praising, there are some parts where I feel Arteta needs to improve now and has to show this maturity. He has to be able to bring players on, even if they're not as to their level as to what you may seem. You still got to give them a chance. The squad rotation is a must. It really is. We've got a very light squad, and that is down to Arteta and Edu as well, for that matter. They should have bolstered the squad a bit more, and maybe that's just because of his stubbornness, a bit like Arsene Wenger, because Wenger was very stubborn when it came to the transfer market. Arteta's a bit stubborn as well. I feel that if he feels he can't get his number 1 target, he doesn't really want a number 2, but he'll take it if that is all there is out there. And that is very, very rare. I mean, we got away with a Trossard, we got away with a Jorginho, but next transfer window, he's got to go all out and bolster his squad. Now, what else is a negative? I would say his game time management as well is a bit questionable at times. And there's games where you were screaming for someone else to come on, screaming to give Saka more rest, but he doesn't do that because he doesn't trust. And that's another thing he still has to work on. He's still a very young manager. Remember, this is his first time being a manager. And yes, he was from a school of Pep. But when you're, a disciple of someone, when you get to have your own time, you do have to forge your way at the same time and you're going to make mistakes. But lucky with KSE, they have a different philosophy in terms of manager turnover. Take the NFL team, the Rams. They have Sean McVay, and he's been there for day of dawn, really. And he's young and he's still growing. And he's got to the Super Bowl a couple of times. He's won the Super Bowl. So that faith in managers, that faith in that regime does pay off. And this is what it's going to do with Arteta. At some point, they're going to win the Premier League. They have to win the Premier League to make it 4 times. It's that bad that a club of this size is only on 3 Premier Leagues. Chelsea's on more, City's on way more. And Manchester United, of course, dominate the Premier League. That's just Premier League titles. Like I said, Liverpool only have 1. Spurs have none. That's nothing new there. And every other team, really and truly, apart from Blackburn and Leicester, they have 1 themselves. So are we a bit harsh on Mikel Arteta, or should it be right to be harsh on Mikel Arteta? And do you think that this contract extension is good for the club, or do you think it's actually taking the club backwards and they're showing no ambition because they're giving a man who's failed to win the Premier League, even though it's his first job, and he's failed to bring the club forward in your eyes, and for the only little football you may have seen, or a load of football you have may seen, being an Arsenal fan, and they compare it to what? So that's what I want to hear. Is this a good contract extension for this manager, or is it the worst contract extension because some of you think he's a yes man? And I can tell you this, he is not a yes man. Believe you me, he is far from a yes man. So what's your thoughts on a contract extension? Is it worth it, or is it not worth it? Have Arsenal just blown themselves yet again, or have Arsenal actually cemented themselves in progression, in going forward? Is this the right move? Is this the right man? Because in my opinion, he has done tremendous. He has brought I say confidence back into Arsenal fans again. They can talk more. They can talk louder. They can go into games saying, "Yeah, we should win this game. We should win this game. We should win this game. If only we had this. If only we had that." Before it was, we need to get rid of this manager, and then we need to get rid of the load of the players because a lot of them are no good. Now Arsenal have players where you look at them and go, "Damn, we're good. Look at the defense. The midfield is good. The wingers are great, and the forwards. Well, we could do a bit better, but that's the thing in sport. We can always do better." So, what's your thoughts on Mikel Arteta's contract extension? Is it worth it? Is it a good move, or is it the worst move in Arsenal history? Let me know in your comments below. I will be back a bit later with another video, going a bit slower, a bigger deep dive into this, and what it truly means going forward for Arsenal, because I've got some big news to bring to you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. See you in the next show.